What's up, everybody? We are back with yet another Zombie Survivors video, doing a little bit of a themed run today. Taking a quick look at upgrade page. Really no thought behind it, but because I kind of have all the points. But if you were curious and wanted to see it, that's that. Then we're gonna start with the Huntress because she has a 10% critical chance increase for her leader perk. We're gonna do endless on the isolated city. And today's theme is critical damage, critical chance, critical damage. We want to increase the amount of times we can proc that critical damage. It's just everything based around the critical damage. So obviously we're starting with the Huntress because she has the 10% increase as her leader perk, and then she has the Eagle Eye skill, which gives an additional 4%, as we can see here. Permanently increases critical chance by 4% and critical damage by 10%, and that's for each point that we put into that. So that's the main reason we want her, that leader perk and that skill. She's got a couple other things too that'll help us with the explosive arrows and her arrow rain. Arrow rain is not the best skill, but the nice thing about it is all of the arrows in arrow rain have a chance to proc critical damage. So if we grab that chance really high, and all those arrows do critical damage, and the critical damage is increased, we should see a nice turnout from arrow rain, just because of that critical damage. And then secondly, the second survivor we want to add is Ghost. We want to do that because he has the skill, most people are probably familiar with it, called Protocol Critical, which gives you an increased 35% critical chance with every strike, and gives you an extra 50% critical damage. But it only procs every 30 seconds, I think it is. I actually can't remember if it's 30 seconds or a minute, to be perfectly honest. I think it's 30 seconds, but the duration lasts for 9 seconds. And we're going to want to get that going as often as we possibly can. And then ideally we want to get pickups that help us with our critical chance or critical damage. There are none here, but we're actually going to go for the 10% skill cooldown because it's a perfect segue. Our third survivor we're going to want to get is the Engineer. And you might have thought that we would go with the SWAT character because the SWAT has the minigun, and the minigun is great for critical damage because the minigun has such absurd fire rate, has a huge magazine, and all those bullets can proc, perfect, Ghost and Engineer, can proc critical damage. So the tank is great. He really benefits from critical damage. And the SWAT character can too, you know, because he has the assault rifle, which has a high fire rate, and the SMG. But we're going to go with the Engineer for a few reasons. Mainly his skill, the energy shield, which is probably the best skill in the entire game, I would say. And we'll see it later on, but it spawns a shield around us if you haven't seen it, and every time the zombies or the bosses go in and out of that shield, they take damage, and that damage can be critical damage. And it happens very, very often. So that's the main reason we want that. On top of that, he has a skill cooldown increase, so he can make everybody else's skills, like the critical protocol, the arrow rain, have those things happen more often. So that'll buff that as well. Not to mention his the Engineer's laser, which is one of his final upgrade weapons, is a weapon that hits multiple times and gives us more chances to hit that critical damage. Really would be nice to get something critical here, but we're going to go with the skill damage. And we're going to do that just because, like we were just talking about, skills, arrow rain, energy shield, and there's going to be other ones we have to upgrade too, you know, even ones we're not even really looking to upgrade initially. Ones like electrocution, electric turret, kunai dance, all of those things, you know, we'll be forced to upgrade them eventually. I haven't put a lot of thought into those But it's okay. We're gonna have a little bit of a rough early game, but we will, in a few minutes here, we will really start to pull away. But as I got a little sidetracked earlier, one of the things we were really looking forward to from Ghost is one of his final upgrade weapons is the 1,000 cuts. Yet just another weapon that will enable us, you know, can we... Oh, we'll upgrade that. I was hoping to get the katana there. And the 1,000 cuts is really nice because, again, it's just something that attacks over and over again, and it's an AoE attack. So more opportunities for us to proc that critical damage. That should be really helpful. Hopefully we made a couple levels out of that. Yeah. One more maybe? Yeah. It is really frustrating to have 2 survivors so early on, because as you see, we don't get the same skills every time, so a lot of our points are really spread out. That's why most of the time it is advisable to wait as long as you can before getting your 2nd and 3rd survivors, so that way you can upgrade the things that you want to upgrade. But we'll be okay. We'll suffer a little bit early on. Here we go, though. We haven't got arrow rain at all, have we? Okay. Well, we definitely want that at some point. Ooh, and a scouter. Okay, 5% chance and damage. So, well, we got critical protocol going on now, so we have inflated critical chance. We'll check to see what it is in a moment. So base, it's 50%. I guess we could have subtracted and figured that out, but ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, this magnet's gonna be almost useless because we just got one a moment ago. Maybe not. Katana slash. Finally, we got that upgraded. Still not what we want it to be, but we'll get there. As soon as we get that 1,000 cuts, the 1,000 cuts or the energy shield from the engineer would really increase our ability to cut down on the horde here. We do want the engineer, but we're gonna liberate and then still not get what we want. So we'll reroll and katana slash. Still only at 5 minutes though. We got a long ways to go. We really want to see. I mean, the goal of this video is not just to get the critical damage, not just to see what it is, but also to not only see if it's viable, but to try to make it viable. You know, we want to do the best we can with it. So I really want to get to like 30 minutes at least. If we don't get to 30 minutes, you know, and get a good run of what we're trying to do here, I would consider that a failure. So I would really like to get a good shot, a good representation of team critical damage. Now, weapon fire rate is important, and we only have 3 rerolls left. The health regen is all... No, so that is a tough one, because fire rate is actually perfect for Ghost and Huntress. Because a lot of people are kind of confused. They might not know, you know, because Ghost doesn't have a gun, and the Huntress is technically reloading with every shot. So a lot of people don't know, like, do they want to increase fire rate or do they want to increase reload speed to make those 2 characters fire faster? And the answer is fire rate, not reload speed. So fire rate is very, very good, especially with Ghost when he has the 1,000 cuts. So that's why I was tempted to go for that. We don't want the freezing arrows, we want the explosive arrows. I think. That's something I haven't entirely thought of. I wanted the explosive arrows. But you know what? I'm going to throw a curveball into the mix. I'm going to get the freezing arrows. I actually... And the reason I'm going to do that, I'll tell you, is because I don't think the freezing arrows are very good. And I also don't think the freezing flask from the medic are very good. But I played a game recently where they recently buffed the freezing flasks, not the freezing arrows. And I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the freezing flasks did okay. So maybe I was misguided about the freezing arrows as well. That zombie decoy, even at level 1, is going to give us a little bit of breathing room. So not only are they frozen, but they're also going to be distracted. Yeah, you can already see the little bit of breathing room we got. That's kind of why I decided to go with the freezing arrows. I feel like we're going to be doing enough damage as is. We don't need the explosions. But the freezing, you know, will help keep us alive. It'll give us some breathing room. I'd really like to get this 1,000 cuts and then get the engineer. Man, and I'd also really like to get critical chance or damage here. But we'll go with the skill cooldown. Because that's going to affect the critical protocol and the energy shield and the arrow rain. So just all more opportunities for critical damage. More opportunities for critical chance. I can't even say critical. I've said critical so many times. Because this is the third time I've tried to record this video. The first time I accidentally died. I just kind of wasn't paying attention. I got distracted. And then the second time the recording just stopped for some reason. Like, I just looked, I know I hit record, and then I looked over and 10 minutes into the video it was not recording. So hopefully third time's the charm. Hopefully third time's the charm. We'll get to 30 minutes. We'll make a video that makes people go, oh my god, critical damage is not, I don't think anybody thinks it's bad. They'll say, oh my god, it's good. Something to that effect. And I will accept it. Now see, I've gotten distracted. I forgot what I was talking about earlier. Critical damage. We were talking about skills. Skill cooldown, energy shield, arrow rain, protocol critical, and that fire rate. That fire. So, but 5%. We're gonna go with the health regen. We're gonna go with the health regen just because it's so important. If you're unaware, before they balanced the game recently, there used to be a build that you were literally unkillable in the game if you had your health regen high enough. So if you played with the medic and you leveled up her health regen abilities and got some items, they literally could not do enough damage to you before you just regenerated the health. They've since fixed that. I wouldn't say they patched it out because it wasn't like a bug or anything like that. The issue was that the horde damage used to cap out at, I think it was either 200 or 300%, you know, because it exponentially increases, and the cap was accidentally sent too low, I think. But they've since increased it to like 3,000 or something, 2,000 maybe, I don't know, something like that. It's in the patch notes. You go on Steam, and I'm pretty sure I talked about it in one of the other videos I have. I haven't seen Engineer here in a while. It's almost as if they know. But thankfully, we want to liberate. We should probably be re-rolling to try and get that 1,000 cuts, because that would be just a massive game changer for us. Because really, at 9 minutes, we should feel like we're in God mode. Because they're still pretty weak. So let's re-roll. Katana Slash. But a lot of this is an investment. So we might be kind of weak now, but when that critical chance is high, which it already really is, but we want it to get higher and the damage to get higher, and we have that 1,000 cuts and that energy shield and that arrow rain and all that happening all the time, it's going to be a lot of damage. That's the hope. So we do not want Wind Cutter. We'll just level up the arrow rain. I would like to hold on to a reroll, because when we get the engineer, we definitely want to upgrade his weapon to the laser, and we want to upgrade his energy shield ability. But we don't really care about his turret or his electrocution, at least initially. So if we can control that, that'd be nice. Because not to mention, we're also, you know, we're starting up the kunai dance, the shuriken, all these things clogging our power-ups. So it's gonna, we're gonna need a little bit of luck. We're gonna need a little bit of happiness and luck on our side. So there's the 1,000 cuts. You can see that the slash is happening all around them all the time. And you can see now that they're essentially all going to be critical damage. Arrow rain. So we want to fill the screen with those critical damage numbers. Nothing else. None of the normal damage. They're really giving us the health regen, aren't they? You know, what might have been better there was the skill damage, because we've talked so much about the skills, but sometimes it feels nice when you already have a couple of something, where you already have your build kind of going one way, to just stack up on top of that. You know, like, if your build is a little bit good at everything, if it's okay at everything, it's not good at anything, you know? Or if it's good at anything, it's not... If it's good at everything, it's not great at anything. I think that's the saying. So, I mean, you really want a build that has, like, a focus or a goal or some kind of theme to it. Things that work in synergy, like we're trying to do here, where everything kind of has a reason to it, you know? The freezing arrows, right? They look like they're doing okay. Especially with some of the bosses. I think I read something in the patch notes about how bosses did not used to freeze correctly. I don't know if that was just the flasks from the medic, or if it was the arrows too. But they definitely seem to be more effective. I will say that. Critical damage, exactly. I almost think that's going to be more important than critical chance at this point. Because with the critical protocol, we're going to have that percentage up so high so often. So critical chance, so our base critical chance right now is 50, and during the critical protocol it's 85. But I imagine we'll get another scouter, or I'm currently blanking on what the item is that gives you 10% critical chance. But I bet we'll get something like that. So that will get higher. Because we're still only at 12 minutes. So we're about a third of the way through our goal where we want to get to. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd like to do this for an hour. I'd like to set records, you know. But I'm trying to be realistic. I think 30 minutes is a good goal. I think 30 minutes proves something. I'm not really sure, to be perfectly honest, what the standard is amongst people playing this game. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there, right, that's like broken the game and, you know, can survive for 2 hours or something like that with just the medic or something because he's so good, or she's so good. I hate that I do that. I always default to saying guys and he and dude. A life full of saying skateboarding and saying dude has not prepared me to be very formal. So I think we're just about, yeah, so one of these hopefully gives us the engineer. That killing frenzy is so valuable. They recently nerfed the stone skin, which sucks because that was also really valuable. I mean, it's still, I think, probably the best thing you can pick up, aside from maybe the magnet. We're gonna go with the frying pan. This frozen heart used to get me all the time. I did not realize that it reduced your health regen. So I probably could have got it because you know, it's just -2. I've already got 3 +5s for the health regen. So I probably could have taken it. I really, yeah, see, I really don't want any of these, so it would be really nice if I had the engineer over here upgrading the energy shield. I say that, and I think he's sitting right here, isn't he? I'm getting distracted again. That's what happened the first time I was playing. The first time I was doing this build, I was cruising. I think it was going even better than this one. But I got distracted, and I died. So I'm going to need to stay laser focused, like the engineer. No pun intended. Well, actually, said very much pun intended. That was a lie. Alright, let's get this engineer leveled up. Let's get a laser. Let's get an energy shield. I'm tempted to actually banish one of the other skills. I hate to banish things though, because theoretically you always, like, you want to get everything eventually. You always want your run to last for 30 minutes so you can get everything. You may have noticed out there I almost got kind of distracted and died. I'm really just, what it is I'm so used to playing with the medic and having just this absurd health regen and feeling invincible half the time. The medic is so good at health regen. So bad at just about everything else, but not so bad. Just not good. I really don't want any of these things. We'll banish. We're gonna, man. We're gonna banish the turret. Oh, and I still get to pick one? I don't think it used to be that way. I think it used to take a turn. And we'll take the kunai dance. Because the kunai dance is every 5 seconds. Kunai dance is actually a good choice for this build because it goes off every 5 seconds. Throws a kunai in every direction. And I believe that they can proc critical damage. I always make that distinction because if you play with the medic, like her damage over time that she deals does not get affected by the critical damage, and it's, in my opinion, it's just, it really sucks for her because I think she's like the only character where most of her weapons are not affected by the increased critical chance and critical damage. Really unfortunate, but maybe they'd be too powerful with it. I don't know. I am not the developer, and I do not I mean, I do envy them in the sense that that's a very cool job, but it's a difficult job balancing all this stuff. It's very easy to say yada yada should be nerfed or buffed, but you know, it's much easier said than done. Still no critical thing here. Well, I think we've had a couple, but let's go with the weapon damage. We've already put a couple towards our skills, so I think we put 3 towards the skill cooldown. Meaning that if we get this shield upgraded, it'll probably just be constant. It'll just never go away. Oh yeah. Because I think it's like level 1 or 2, and it's almost that way already. Because the shield, you can get it to the point where the new one respawns before the old one goes away. So you have it constantly. And you can, I mean, it's kind of hard to see all the damage it's doing right now, because we also have the 1,000 cuts. But you can see that every time one of those zombies hits that wall as I move around, critical damage, baby. Critical damage. For the record, if anybody has like an idea of how I could better utilize the critical damage, I would love to hear it. I do think one, ooh, here we go. I do think that one idea is to not use Ghost, or not use the Huntress, because it's overkill. But I also think that's the whole point, is overkill, right? We're just trying to make it all about the critical damage, and just see really how far that can take us and what that can do for us. It's kind of how if you find out like things are viable or OP or, you know, crappy, like, you know, go all into it, see how strong it is. And they, you know, they recently nerfed critical damage and critical chance. The base both took a 50% hit in the most recent balance update. So I'm thinking the developers saw something that it was pretty strong. I mean, everybody knew the health regen was strong. And if you're thinking, boy, you need health regen and critical damage, yes. Yes. But then you're split, you know, you're not dedicated to one thing. You're split in your theme. Oh, actually looks like the kunais did a lot of damage there. So like I said earlier, we were making that investment. We're making the investment in the early game to be powerful in the later game. And it is starting to pay off. Because usually you kind of feel like you're in God mode until you get to about the 20-minute mark, in my opinion, and then things start to feel a little bit hairy. We did the opposite. We almost died at like 11 minutes because I wasn't paying attention. And we were getting swarmed for a long time. And now we're approaching 20 minutes. And it's the easiest it's been. I mean, they're just melting into the shield. They're melting into my rain of arrows and my 1,000 cuts kunai dance. Like I said, as long as I can stay laser focused. Speaking of laser, if I upgraded the engineer's weapon one time, I'm gonna go with the teddy bear, actually. Because if you don't know, that plus 10 happiness is actually plus 10 luck. And it's very helpful to have that luck and get those. I think it helps with your pickups, you know, so you get like magnets and hearts and stone skins and stuff like that. Critical damage, baby. So it's a small investment to get a lot more like health and you know, good pickups. I honestly don't know. I think I may have upgraded the taser one time. I don't think I've seen it since. But they can't hide it from me forever. I'm gonna level up this kunai dance. I think there's something else that's almost upgraded all the way. And then there just won't be that many options. And then I'm gonna get, at a certain point, I'm gonna be like, man, wish I didn't banish the turret. So now I have nothing else to get. And I could have got the turret. And then I'm gonna die at 32 minutes and I'm gonna ask myself, well, what if I had... I'm gonna finish the kunai dance. I'm gonna be like, well, what if I had the turret? Could I have gone to 40 minutes? And we'll never know. 20 minutes, we are melting through these bosses. They are not at full strength yet, though. But neither are we. I don't know. Is that arrow rain upgraded all the way? I do not even know. My focus really is just energy shield and taser. Let's get that fire rate. Even though it's only 5%, like I said, 5% faster for the 1,000 cuts is pretty helpful. Ooh, I think the energy shield. I'd like to get that to the point. Yeah, see, I think only one more upgrade, and it'll be there constantly. I don't know if it upgrades the damage with every upgrade, though. Because if it's only cooldown time, we might not need to focus on that for a little bit. Whoa, those guys are... Whoa, 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 whoa. You see how fast those guys were going? Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, let's regenerate some health. That was balderdash. Whoa, the fast ones are going like super fast. And I think like the shield went away for like like 2 seconds, and they all just rushed through the shield or something. That was crazy. Getting a little intense here. Man, talk about things I don't want. Let's go with the zombie decoy, because we do have the skill cooldown upgraded a lot, and its cooldown is so the current is 8 seconds. So yeah, it's going down. That's with all the upgrades, I believe. Oh, we want energy shield. So duration damage, yeah, it does upgrade damage. And hopefully now the shield will just be there constantly. Let's see. Looks like it. Alright, so we are fully shielded up. Yeah, like I said, we had those skill cooldown upgrades, so that decoy is already coming out every 8 seconds, now it's coming out every like 6 or 7 seconds. I think it said it was an increase of 3 seconds. I don't know. That doesn't sound right though. Well, we are definitely dealing that damage. Ooh, hopefully this gives me a level up. Ooh, energy shield. Completely upgraded. I would say we're almost at maximum damage dealing potential, at least with like the main things we want to deal damage with. Though we haven't upgraded the engineer's weapon at all. He still has like a taser upgraded once. And the laser, if we can get him to the laser is a really good weapon for this build, because it procs a possible critical chance very often. His other weapon, the blaster, not so much. The blaster's a lot more... Let's get this off. The blaster is a lot more like a rocket launcher, kind of like a single fire kind of weapon. I think it's better than the rocket launcher, because it like affects the zombies that the bullet goes past, not just the ones like in a blast radius or the ones it connects with. 10% fire rate, very good, because remember 10% fire rate is going to make both the Huntress and Ghost fire and swing their weapons faster. So that's very, very, very good. Magnet. Not gonna help us too much, but you can kind of just see there's magnets and pickups everywhere now, because we got that teddy bear earlier. They gave us that plus 10 happiness. And this constant shield is really making a huge difference. In 25 minutes, we're still dealing with it pretty darn well, I would say. And this is definitely better than most of my 25 minutes ago, or if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to make sense when you're laser focused, you know. All right, we got multiple green arrows on the screen. To be honest with you, I don't know if those are green or yellow. I'm actually mildly colorblind. But what I do know is they're not red, and they are good things. Wasn't there another one over here? Wasn't there? Oh, it's over here. I don't know how I lose track of those. Says the guy who just said he was colorblind. Oh, those zombies that explode do so much damage. Talking about things that should be nerfed or buffed, can we just like nerf those guys a little bit? Because you can be having such a good run, but you just happen to stand next to one of those zombies that bursts, and it's over. Like, they do so much damage. Tesla, that's nice. The Tesla is a lot like the laser. It hits multiple zombies, lots of chances for Critical damage, baby. Oh, shit. We'll get to the laser pretty soon by the looks of it. So we are, you know, I guess another thing I could call this build is the glass cannon build, right? Because we do not have a lot of health. We do have health regeneration, but we did not plan it that way. We just ended up getting health regeneration. We're kind of getting back into this corner too, which is a bad thing. So let's work our way out of here. Maybe the stone skin will help. I mean, they're still having a hard time doing damage to us. Critical chance. Well, it's 90 now. Okay, so yeah, so we definitely... Ooh, the fire rate, though, is actually... it's all about the critical chance. Well, it's all about both of these things. So we have a 90% critical chance now. I mean, that's with the protocol. So minus 35, it's actually 55%. This would take it up to 65 without the protocol. We'll do that. The fire rate is intriguing though. You know, because that's just more bullets you're firing. They could all be criticals, but this means we've got 65 critical without the protocol critical, and we have 100 with it. So during that time that it's going on, every single thing that can be critical damage is critical damage. So I think it was worth the 10%. One more to the laser. Scary thought though is like, see, now we're getting to that point where almost everything is upgraded. Our ability to add on to our firepower is becoming limited. Although I think we still have to upgrade the kunai dance, the shuriken all the way. So we have a little more that we can use. And boy, it's nice to see all these hearts out here. And it's also nice to see the bosses getting distracted by the zombie decoy, because I feel... I've used that in the past, and I feel the boss zombies would get distracted by it for a second, but then they would come after me anyway. Ooh, none of these things are really ideal. I think we're going to take this. It's only a slight nerf to the health regen. We still have a lot of health regen, and that gives us more total health. It might help us, you know, absorb one more blow. Who knows? Keep us alive that much longer. There we go. There is the laser. Yeah. So we haven't touched the shuriken yet. So we definitely have a lot of more skill points to spend. Alright, so we said things were going to get hairy at 20 minutes. We are now approaching 30. We're at 29. Just coming up on 29. And like we said, 30 was our goal, you know. So if we get to 30 minutes, I'll consider this video a success. We will have successfully displayed the team critical damage build. And yeah, I think it's important to, honestly, to keep putting these run videos out of different builds and different teams and stuff. Because since this is such a new game, they're constantly rebalancing it and stuff like that. So things are always changing. I mean, just a week ago, I think I mentioned earlier, there was a build that you could be invincible. You would never die. It was literally game breaking. You know, so the game is always changing. I'm actually so excited for them to add new survivors and add like the 3rd rank or like the next tier. It would be the 4th tier to the current ones. I'm just excited for all the more content. I think these developers are they actually make such good games. Because they're just these perfect, like, simple but like addicting kind of games. This one, yet another zombie defense. Fury Unleashed. They have great gameplay. And I'm all about the gameplay. Gameplay and the strategy, I should say. Because they're all kind of thinkers, you know? When I first started playing yet another zombie deep... Oh no! I told you I was going to get distracted. I knew I was going to get distracted. I'm talking about a different video game than I'm even playing right now. But, we lasted 30 minutes. We lasted 30 minutes, and I think, honestly, you could see how much farther we could have gone. You know, I'm so disappointed in myself. I should have done better. I should have been paying more attention. I legitimately think this is a build that could get 35 easy, maybe 40, honestly, if it's done right and has the right pickups and stuff. The amount of damage we were sending out was pretty crazy. Look at this from the freezing arrows. I've never had a DPS like that from the freezing arrows ever. That's pretty crazy, actually. I mean, 1,000 cuts. Wow. Crazy how these DPSs fluctuate sometimes. I would have expected a little higher from the energy shield. I think it would have been higher had we played longer, and if we didn't have, you know, because this number would be higher if it didn't have to be split with this number and this number, because there's only so much damage to go around. Look how much damage the laser did. Wow, the laser, highest fluctuating DPS of anything in the game, I think, easily. Anyway, that was Team Critical build. Hope you enjoyed it. I liked the potential. I'm definitely going to do it again. If I get better results, I will definitely share them. But stay tuned. We'll have a new build. We'll have a new build soon. See you guys next time.